this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
From the home of such races as the Daytona 24, Daytona 500, and Firecracker 400, and the place where names like Taylor, Pruitt, Earnhardt, and Petty were made. Local Give Racing fans, and we are here live at Daytona for the first race of the new year in 2017, and we're going to kick it off with the Domino'S TYJ Racing Series Xfinity cars at Daytona for the IWRAPS 250. 100 miles on the racket tonight in the first of 4 Crown Jewel events in this inaugural season for the Xfinity Series here on the All Pro Racing Network. I'm Goodwood, alongside me, Robert McFarland, Michael D'Amico, pushing the buttons and getting the picture you see to you tonight. And this is it. After the few months of preseason racing and drivers trying to make their name and get into the series, 42 drivers are going to get ready to qualify now and get into the race. Robert, you're down on pit road, and I know it's a big buzz around the pits getting ready to race tonight.
Yes, it is, Gabe. Thank you very much. I tell you one thing, I've been part of iRacing for almost 2 years, and I have never been more excited about what we're going to see tonight here on the track at Daytona. It's going to be an unbelievable IWRAPS 250 here at Daytona International Speedway. And qualifying is about to get started. Guys are already getting ready to get on the track. And once they get on there, you might get the pole position. Doesn't mean you're going to win the race, Gabe. You've been around this sport long enough to understand that starting up front does not mean you're going to lead all the laps and win the race.
No, at Daytona International Speedway and the sister track Talladega Super Speedway, there is nowhere to be safe, whether the front, the middle, or the back. You could be 15 lanes back from the back of the pack and get caught up in the wreck that they call the big one. And get ready to see that tonight, because these drivers racing this hard for just a little bit extra cash here in race number 1 of the season. It's going to get a little bit dicey up front, and you're going to see some guys get taken out, hopefully early, to where we can get to see some good racing later. Now, Robert, we've got some good drivers here tonight, but one of them is the 83 of Joe Johnson. He's on the racetrack right now, and he's got a little bit different of a sponsor the first time we're going to see them here in 2017.
That is correct, Gabe. I have live in the booth Joe Johnson. This is Robert up in the broadcast booth. Wanted to just give you a quick shout out. How you doing tonight, Joe?
We're doing good, Robert. How are you?
Doing very good. I want to thank you for sponsoring this race with the IWRAPS 250. I understand you're out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. Is that correct, Joe?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Give us a real quick history of your company, what you do, and how the fans and the drivers that are watching this tonight will be able to benefit from your services.
Yes, sir. We started IWRAPS here at the first of the year for iRacing. I'm a graphic designer professionally, and I love iRacing, so I figured I'd start doing paint schemes as well. And it's kind of blown up pretty quick. And you can find us on facebook.com/IWRAPS.
That's exciting. Yes, we understand. Look good going fast. That's what you're doing right now as you're qualifying. Hopefully you get a top 5 or 10 qualifying position, Joe. But as you know, you can qualify 15th, 25th, 35th. We got a full field here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, fans, young and old. It's going to be a very exciting race. Joe, we wish you the best of luck again. Thanks for being here, sponsoring this race, and we will hopefully talk to you at the end of the race as a top 3 finisher.
Yes, sir. We will be up there.
Joe Johnson on the racetrack right now, qualifying, gives us a little bit of an insight while they're trying to make some laps here around Daytona. He's currently qualified 23rd, but that was on his first lap, getting warmed up and getting up to speed so far. Jeremy Crandall is your provisional pole sitter. He just completed a lap time of 49.59 in that number 73 machine, but that is yet to be finalized because we've got almost half the field, Robert. Drivers like Curtis Young, Chuck Dix, Tyler Roberts, all of them have yet to get onto the racetrack. Throw in Michael Frabert, Ellery Queen, Donald Stewart, Judd Danielson, Craig Lerman, Michael Jeans. A couple of drivers have yet to take time here. It's a very close race up front. You've got Jeremy Crandall with a 49.590. And then 2 drivers, Tim Cox and Gary Sexton, the 19 and the 31, are 49.599. So drivers up front separated by less than 1/1000th of a second. So it's a very close field here for a pole position that really doesn't mean much.
That's absolutely correct, Gabe. As we all know, fans included, Daytona is one of the most exciting races we put on every single year. This is the IWRAPS 250 live on All Pro Broadcasting. Whether you start up front, in the middle, and the back, what's going to come into play the most here, Gabe, is strategy. You've got to keep all 4 fenders of your Xfinity vehicle intact. You've got to be able to maintain the lead lap position, unless you get a lucky dog, but that's your goal, to maintain lead lap position. You've got to have fuel strategy. You've got to have tire strategy. You're going to have a drafting partner as well, Gabe, to make it to the winner's circle tonight.
Yep, and thankfully 42 drivers here tonight. That means everybody's going to theoretically have a partner to dance with. But it's a 190-mile-an-hour game of chess. Drivers trying to work their way around and try and get the right position there on lap number 100 to take the checkered flag. And even when we get to that white flag, the finish of the race is not finalized. But what is finalized is the qualifying order. The 2 laps of qualifying is over for all the drivers. 29 take time out of the 42-car field. Excuse me, Jeremy Crandall, he does take that pole with a 49.590. Tim Cox in the number 19 machine comes home in second in qualifying. Gary Sexton comes home in third. Josh Bonwell in the 56 in fourth. Kyle Charpentier, one of the drivers who worked his way in through the qualifying races in the preseason, did very well for himself, and he gets that 003 into the field in fifth. Jeff T. Martin in sixth. James Sombecki, Lynn McNeese, Ricky Lake, and rounding out your top 10 of the 44, Ray Richard.
Yes, sir. Starting 11th, we have Michael Atkins Jr. in the 018. Starting 12th, we have Ray Sanders in the 86. 13th starting position, we have Ryan Steinacher in the 48. Joe Johnson, we just interviewed him. He's a sponsor of this race with IWRAPS. He is starting 14th in the 83. Starting 15th, we have Dwayne Cooper in the 00. Nick Reynolds, will be starting 16th in the number 10 machine. Brent Scott will be starting 17th in the 29. Raymond Vasquez will be starting 18th in the 72. In the number 2, Marcus Potts 2 will be starting 19th. He is starting his career driving real race cars. Hopefully we'll talk about him a little bit more, Gabe, during the race if we get some time. He's definitely a great young man who has started his racing career in real cars. He's got a lot of experience here in iRacing and Domino's TYJ Racing. Starting 20th, we have Chad Payne in the number 9.
Rolling off in 21st on that inside lane is going to be the Junior Motorsports Chevy Camaro. of Richard Dix. Dean Viney, and then number 71 starts the outside of him. Gary Sheldon, Gerald Heffley, and Mark Fravert round out your top 25. Gary Weston in 26th. 27th is going to go to Ellery Queen, and the 101 of David Gainforth in 28th. He is your final driver to take qualifying. Dustin Lee in 29th, and Jack Watts rounds out your top 30.
Gabe, what are you expecting out of this inaugural Xfinity race here at Daytona? As far as we've got a full field of drivers, we've got a handful of veteran drivers, Gabe, that I know are very talented. We've got Luke McNeese starting in 8th. We've got some other drivers like I already said Luke McNeese, sorry about that. We've got a lot of new guys now that I'm looking at the starting grid, Gabe. Forgive me for that. Jeremy Crandall actually is one of our veteran drivers. He's on the pole. Tim B. Cox, Gary Sexton, Josh Bonwell, Kyle Carpentier. They just started with our league in the last month or so, and unfortunately, I do have to make one quick apology, Gabe. We have got about 4 or 5 drivers that signed up for our league that were unable to take provisionals tonight as the field got filled a lot quicker than we expected it to. My apologies to those drivers. They will definitely be in here in 2 weeks for the next race at Atlanta.
One more thing to talk about before we go green here as the pace car comes off of 4. Where you see the drivers starting tonight is not where they're going to roll off from the grid, because we saw a lot of drivers there on the opening pace lap. They're coming off of pit road, duck into their pit boxes, which means they're going to start from the rear of the field. That iRacing, we can finally say it, Porsche GT3 pace car is going to pull down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Green flag in the air. Welcome to 2017 and welcome to Domino's TYJ.
Looks like Jeremy Crandall gets a great jump on the start of this race.
Drivers starting to fan out as they go into turn number 1. Going to be side by side for that lead between the 19 and the 73. Tim B. Cox on the outside trying to get Josh Bonwell to come with him. Looks like Lynn McNeese in the 84 is going to duck down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Leave Roy Richer on the outside of the racetrack out to dry. It's still neck and neck out front. Drivers shuffling around trying to get that draft working for him. It looks like that 19 of Tim Cox is clear for the time being. Is he going to pull down? It looks like he is. So move that 19 into the lead for the time being here as they come into turn number 3. They're going to come around to complete lap number 1. Your pole sitter, 73 of Jeremy Crandall. Looks like he will not lead lap number 1. It's going to be the 19 of Tim Cox.
Yes, but Jeremy Crandall and that Scoops ice cream, 73, he definitely has got a head of steam here. He's probably just going to follow Tim B. Cox for now. He's okay being in second position here because he knows this is a long race. We have 100 laps here at Daytona. Everything can happen. Like I mentioned at the beginning, you want to make sure you keep all 4 fenders of your Xfinity car intact.
Cars get up to speed now as they come down the back straightaway, 190 and climbing. Looks like that outside lane starting to break up as we got 10 or 15 cars there on the bottom side of the racetrack compared to about 5 or 6 there on the outside. It's going to be Josh Bonwell leading the charge in that outside lane with Jeff T. Martin in the 15 right behind him. They come off of turn number 4 to complete lap number 2 of 100. That 19 still out front. Looks like a 20-car breakaway here as these drivers get into the draft and look to pull away from the rest of the field. Looks like Gary Sheldon is going to be one of the last drivers. It looks like Chad Payne or one of the drivers are the last in this bunch of cars. And then we've got 2 drivers by themselves, the 21 of Richard Dix and Gary Sheldon there out by themselves. So we got Mark Flavert ducking, or Brent Scott, in the 29 ducking to the outside of the racetrack. He may have gotten into the wall. He was a little slow, but getting that momentum back up now. Everybody's fanned out here. Maybe the smart strategy, if these guys start racing up front and get into a big wreck, these guys are going to be in a great position. Back up front, Tim Cox still in the lead, but it is now under threat because here comes Josh Bonwell in the 56 to complete lap number 3. He's going to keep that lead this time by, but a big push coming from that 15 behind.
Yes, we do have Gary Sexton up in the 5th position in the 31 car. He and also Jeff T. Martin in the 15. They are trying to make that outside line work. As we said, Josh Bonwell, he's in that Ford in the 56. He is trying to make the outside line work. He's getting a little bit of a push right now as we speak from the 15. He might be able, he's got a fender on the 19 of Tim B. Cox going down the back stretch. Whether he can clear him or not is another story. As you know, Gabe, that bottom line is the best way around here, especially at the beginning of the race. Once your tires get worn a little bit, a lot of the cars might drift up to the top.
See how aggressive they are on the pushing. That 15 wants to go, and that 56 wants to go with them. Josh Bonwell to the outside. They're going to be side by side as they come to the stripe here on lap number 5 to complete lap number 4. Looks like we got two main packs starting to form up as these front stretch drivers of about 17 cars, and then we go back to the 21st position, the 20 of Mark Fravor in the 18 on the 20th position. He's leading the charge there on that second group of cars in that Chicago Cubs World Series paint scheme. He's been waiting a long time to let go of that paint scheme and show it off. It's like about 10 cars there in that second pack, and that's really going to complete the rest of your field there. Back up front, Tim Cox still under threat. It looks like getting a little bit dicey there with the 73 of Jeremy Crandall. He wants to get around as well. To complete lap number 5 here. The 56 pulls just a little bit closer to him. He's going to have that lead more than likely as they go into turn number 1. But the momentum's not going to carry him as they go into 1. It's not going to happen for him. But the drivers on the outside, they are starting to form up and getting more cars there on that top side of the racetrack.
Yes, Gabe, it definitely looks like we got two big packs of cars right now at this point in the race, the front pack and the second pack. I do want to bring in a comment real quick. I forgot to mention this earlier, fans. You fans are some of the most important part of what we're doing here in Domino's TYJ Racing. I wanted to mention our free pizza giveaway, something I didn't mention yet. It's very important, and fans, you are all a part of this. I just want to make this note. If you are able to pick accurately the winner of this race before lap 50, which is halfway, and you might want to wait a few laps to see what happens, but the first person to accurately pick the winner of this race before lap 50, you can either text it in the chat or you can text me personally, 919-883-7497. The first person to accurately pick the winner will win a large 3-topping free pizza, carry out only, courtesy of Domino's TYJ Racing. We have given 5 free pizzas away in the last 6 weeks. The last winner was Jonathan Schwartz from Vienna, Virginia. There's a picture of him on my Facebook page. There's also a picture of Doug Turner from Dawsonville, Georgia. He won the week before that. Those two guys were gracious enough to have a picture taken with their pizza in their hands. Not everybody's willing to do that. We completely understand. But if you want to win a free pizza, this is your chance, fans. We appreciate you being here. Again, before lap 50, text 919-883-7497. Get your pick in. And your most recent pick, I asked you to choose just one driver. We will let you know at the end of the race.
That time by, the 56 of Josh Bonwell did get the lead momentarily, but now falls back into third as the 73 and the 19 of Tim Cox there on the inside are going to get that lead back. But that 56 is going to lead the charge yet again with the 15 of Jeff Martin behind him. Let's see what they can do going into turn number 3. That's where they've made their move every time. Is coming off of turn 4, they're able to get the momentum going. And I want to talk about somebody holding strong there is Gary Sheldon and Richard Dix David Gainforth, it looks like, or a few of those drivers. They are hanging tough there, just outside this lead pack. They've done pretty well, so they're just far enough out to where if a wreck happens, they can get on the brakes and slow down, but they're not out of the draft just yet, so they're doing very well so far.
That is absolutely right. And as this lead pack is coming up, we've got a couple of cars that are near the tail end of the lead pack. It'll be really interesting to see, Gabe, how these leaders get around these guys.
Racing up front, that Josh Bonwell machine goes into turn number 3. He's going to duck to the bottom side of the racetrack for the first time. We're going to have a complete lead change here on lap number 9. The two drivers in front of them, David Wright and Marcus Potts, in the 2 and 42 respectively. It looks like they're going to pull high going into the trial, but they're going to let these leaders by. It's going to break that momentum of the outside just a little bit, but not too much. Looks like we got about 5 or 6 cars there on the outside. And look at Chad Payne there in the number 9. He's getting a little bit of momentum. He's coming up as the 42 hits the wall. That's going to be David Wright. He's going to get up into the fence, getting out of the way of the leaders, and that's going to break up that lead pack just a little bit. Tim Cox and Josh Bonwell pulling away by, it's like maybe a car length, but it's coming down with that 73 of Jeremy Crandall coming fast.
Yes, sir, Gabe. That error on David Wright's part, he was trying to stay out of the way of the leaders. He got into the wall. I'm sure he's got some right front fender damage on that 42 machine. He's definitely lost quite a few positions, but luckily he will be able to pick up a second pack of cars and hopefully be able to maintain this lead lap position.
Coming by the stripe this time by, it's going to be Josh Bonwell still in the lead. But we're a tenth of the way through tonight's race, and we are still green flag all the way. So it's been a very good, clean race here so far, Robert. Got a 19-car lead pack, and then just about the rest of the field racing for the rest of the positions. It's a good showing to start off 2017.
Yes, sir, and I'm going to take us a little bit further in the pack. We're looking at David Gainforth now in the 101 car. He's basically leading that second pack gate. He is back in position 20. He's got right beside him, Judd Danielson, and we do have a caution on the track.
Caution, looks like Joe Johnson up into the wall. We're going to have to get the replay for you in just a moment. Drivers getting into each other there in turn number 3, it looks like. In that lead pack, going to have to look at it. Looks like Ray Richard getting into a little bit of trouble there with his connection. Pushes up the racetrack, and the 86 gets into him. We're going to get that replay up for you, but that's going to take out the sponsor of tonight's race, Joe Johnson, in that 83, but it's unfortunate end to some of these guys' night. Ray Richard gets into the wall, and that's Ray Sanders in the 86.
Yes, Gabe, I've got this replay pulled up. It does look like the 44 of Ray Richard, he's having not any kind of issues, and then he seems to have trouble, gets right up into the wall. The 86 gets right into him. That would be of Ray Sanders, and it's on from there.
Caution is out here on lap number 12. So, Robert, before we go to break, any final thoughts about this first 10th of the race?
It's been very exciting so far. Unfortunately, we had that caution. A few drivers have been taken out. We do want to step away for just a minute or two. We will get this replay back up when we get back. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the IWRAPS 250 from Daytona International Speedway. It is our inaugural Xfinity Series race with Domino'S TYJ Racing. IWRAPS is from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Look good going fast. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right fast. Make sure you get your picks in. Welcome back, race fans, ladies and gentlemen of all ages. Thanks for tuning in to the IWRAPS 250 here at Daytona International Speedway. Again, real quick, want to make sure all of you fans that are very important to us, you understand this is your chance to win a free pizza dinner. All you have to do is accurately predict the winner of this race before lap 50. You can text 919-883-7497. Get your pick in, or in the voice chat if you're watching the race live, which we hope you are. You can give us your pick there, and we will let the results be known near the end of the race. And if you are the lucky winner, you will be interviewed in this live broadcast when the race is over. Gabe, real quick, I did get a chance to talk with Ray Richer there and caused that caution, and I'm going to bring him in the broadcast booth real quick. It sounds like they had a right front tire go down. We don't know if he had an issue running over debris or what exactly happened, but we're going to bring him in real quick.
Ray Richer, driving 44 on the racetrack. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing tonight, bud?
We're doing good up here, but you're not looking too hot. What happened on that caution?
Well, I've been taking and pushing this car most all night long, and everything's been fine. In fact, it's felt good to run up front. You can't full throttle it. You've got to back off, and sometimes when I had an opportunity, I kept it floor through the corners just to kind of push the 15 a bit, but then the right front tire just let loose, and we took a solid shot to the wall, and I feel bad for the team. I feel bad for everybody else on the track, and I feel really bad all the way around. Sorry, guys. I mean, I know stuff happens, but...
Well, Ray, don't feel too bad. This is Daytona. Stuff happens. Only took out a few cars in the race tonight, but yeah, we know it wasn't on purpose. We know how it happens here at Daytona.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I'm, a little bit of luck tonight to be able to get back up towards the front. There's a little damage to the right front, which is going to affect the aero, but we'll work with it. Thanks a lot, guys.
The 44, Ray Richer, running in 26th right now. Still on the lead lap, so still with a shot with it. Ray, thank you, and we'll let you go.
Thanks, fellas.
Drivers doubling up down the back straightaway with the Porsche GT3 pace car out front. Lights are out atop it, so we're going to go back. Green flag racing here on lap number 16. Right, we got a change for the lead. Tim Cox goes into the lead during the pit stops. He's going to put the 56 back to second. Gary Sexton is going to move into third. That's going to put Kyle Charpentier into that fourth position, so that 003 doing a good job there on the outside lane in row number 2. Followed by him, Jeremy Crandall, your pole sitter. You had to lead a lap tonight. And behind him, the opposite story. Ramon Vasquez in the number 72. He started 18th and has now worked his way up into 6th, so doing a good job in that Corona. It's number 72. Pace car is going to come to pit road this time by. It's going to put the fields into the hands of the number 19 of Tim Cox. Coming out of the front straightaway, green flag in the air on the flagman. Here they come down to the front straightaway. It's a big lead for that 19 as they go down to the front straightaway. And outside lane formed up just a little bit better. You don't want to get a jump here at Daytona. Looks like Kyle Charpentier is going to jump to the bottom side of the racetrack going into 1. He's going to leave the 56 out to dry for the moment, but he's going to get caught by the 17 of Ramon Vasquez on the outside.
Yes, and as these Xfinity cars get back up to speed, I want to remind the fans here, these Xfinity cars do have a smaller restrictor plate on them. It's going to take them at least a lap, Gabe, maybe a lap and a half to get to full song, where they'll be cruising at about 190 miles an hour in the pack. But until then, they're going to be jockeying for position, trying to get in front of the car beside them, side draft a little bit, try to get in a position where they need to once they get up to full song.
A little bit bigger of a breakaway we can see here in the front pack. It looks like we got about a 10-car breakaway, and then a little bit farther back, we got another gap for the rest of the drivers in the field. Single file through about 30th as they come here on the lap number 17, closing in on a fifth of the way through tonight's race. It's gone by very quickly for a race at Daytona. It's either really feast or famine. You get good green flag racing, or you get a caution fest, and it looks like we've got some pretty good drivers here on the plate tracks, and just like Earnhardt, they can see the air and they can do what they want with it. They're doing pretty well. Talk about Josh Barnwell. He got sucked back there. He's now into that 5th spot, and he's now trying to claw his way back up. But I don't think it's going to happen with 3 cars on the outside, loosely tucked up together. Going to have the 15 of Jeff T. Martin behind him, and the 72 Ramon Vasquez in front of Josh Barnwell. But that bottom side of the racetrack is tucked up behind each other. Kyle Charpentier doing a good job. This one car comes off of pit road. It's going to be the 83 of Joe Johnson coming up. Got a lot of damage. They failed to fix, they fixed a little bit of it. Did not fix all of it, obviously, but he's going to come out and run a few laps and try and gain as many positions as he can. Looks like I stand corrected because Josh Barnwell in the 56. He's working his way back up. He's up to 3rd now. If 003 was smart, he would move up to the top side and try and take the lead, but that door closes. Here comes the 56 of Josh Barnwell.
Yes, as I'm looking at this, Gabe, it looks like the 72 of Ramon Vasquez in the Corona Light Camaro is giving him a great shove, which will maybe push both of them to the lead here. Going to the front stretch across the start-finish line. They got a little bit more work to do, but they're definitely making ground, making that high line work.
Putting on a show here on lap number 19, the 003 to the bottom side of the racetrack, Kyle Charpentier. On the bottom side, he's going to move back into second. Josh Baumwell in the 56 is going to move back to third. A couple other drivers coming up through the field. Chad Payne, he's leading the 71 of Dean Biney on the outside of the racetrack. They're going to close up to the back bumper of the 15, so we're going to have 5 cars to the top side of the racetrack. That top lane starting to form here on lap number 19. Coming on the 20 this time by, they're going to try and side draft their way up front. And at 88 behind him, Gary Sheldon. He's doing a good job. He was off the pace the first few laps. He's now up into the top 10, or at least he was last time by. He's going to come by the stripe this time in the 12th spot. Still doing very well. He's running 19th before that first caution. So he's going to pick up a few spots here and running inside the lead draft. That outside lane starting to form up, trying to get it done there on the top side of the racetrack here on lap number 20. That 19 still out front.
Yes, as you mentioned, Gary Sheldon in the 88. He's in the, looks like the Pizza Hut sponsored car. That's kind of interesting. No problem. He also got Starbucks coffee on the back deck of his 88 machine. We're definitely happy to have him in here. He's one of our newer drivers, Gabe, and he is definitely putting on the show. He's only in 12th position so far, but he's definitely started in 23rd, so he has definitely worked his way smartly up to the front pack. And like we said earlier, as long as you keep your fingers on these Xfinity cars tonight, you have got a shot. If you're in the top group with 5 laps to go, anybody can win this race.
Top side and bottom side starting to equal out here on lap number 21 as drivers coming to turn number 1. Getting a little bit shaky there on the outside, and as I say that, the bottom side gets a little bit shaky with a 31 on the bottom side of the racetrack. The 31, the 73, and the 7 all lined up behind Kyle Charpentier and Tim Cox in the 19 here on lap number 22.
Yes, and the Gabe, it looks like in the second pack, Mark Fravor in the 18. He might be leading the second pack. Actually, in front of him, we have Ryan Steinacher in the 48. He's in the DC Solar, looks like Camaro. He's leading that second pack. Behind him, of course, like I just mentioned, we do have Mark Fravor in the 18. Those guys are trying to team up together and stay in line, although they do have, looks like Michael Atkins Jr. out there by himself in the Haviland-sponsored Camaro. If these guys can get lined up, then they have a better chance of catching the lead lap cars up here in the first group, but they're definitely working on it.
Gary Sheldon in the 88 starting to lose that lead draft. He's going to fall back into 13th out of the 13 cars there in that lead pack. The 62 of Ellery Queen on the outside, 71 of Dean Biney on the inside as they come on to lap number 23, getting a little bit dicey again up front. These drivers still running double file very well here as they come on to closing in on the quarter of tonight's 100 lap event.
Yeah, Gabe, one thing we haven't talked about much is what kind of fuel strategy we're going to be able to see tonight. Of course, we had that early caution around lap 10. The guys have been back on the track for about 10 laps now with the full tank of Sunoco racing fuel. And when you're in the lead pack, you're leading this group around the track here at about 195 miles an hour. Right now I'm riding with Jeff T. Martin in the 15 machine. He's running right at 196, 197 going down the back stretch, and they're using a lot of fuel up here in the front. The guys in the back are going to be using a little bit less fuel. If we happen to have a long green stretch run, which could happen, Gabe, fuel mileage is going to be a major player here. I know the crew chiefs of all these drivers are talking to them about how they can save a little bit of gas here, a little bit of gas there, because we all know these guys probably started saving gas when they were on pit road.
Kyle Charpentier in that 003 looking to try and get to the top side of the racetrack in front of the Josh Monwell machine in the 56, trying to make it work. He's going to stick to the bottom side of the racetrack coming out of turn number 2. That 19 of Tim Cox still out front. Looks like Tim Cox is going to be one of your maybe one of your perennial favorites for the pick of the Domino'S free pizza giveaway.
That is true. I'll have to check in a minute and see if we've got anybody who has picked him. He is definitely one of our newer drivers. Looks like he is racing in that Camaro, the 19 machine, and he's leading the pack right now. He's definitely led a few laps, and he's definitely one to beat tonight, that's for sure.
Next time by will be a quarter distance lap number 25, 75 laps to go here at Daytona. It's been clean and green, minus one caution here at Daytona. It's been a very good race here for the IWRAPS 250. Talk about IWRAPS. The driver, we saw him earlier getting a wreck. Joe Thompson in 83 is now pulled off the racetrack, pulled it behind the wall, so the damage too great on that 83 machine.
Yes, and on that note, Gabe, while we are clean and green, we are going to step away again for another commercial break. You are watching the IWRAPS 250 live from Daytona International Speedway on All Pro Broadcasting. Make sure you get your picks in for the free pizza dinner. The IWRAPS 250 out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. Look good going fast. We will be back in just a couple of minutes, fans.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with Freedom Train.
Welcome back, Braves fans, to the IWRAPS 250 live from Daytona International Speedway. It is our inaugural Xfinity Series opener for the Domino'S TYJ Racing Series. Again, make sure you get your picks in if you want to win a free pizza dinner. All you have to do is text your pick of the winner of this race before lap 50 in about 13 laps to 919-883-7497. Or in the race chat. We do appreciate our fans. We have given out 5 free pizzas out of the last 6 weeks. The last one went to Jonathan Schwartz of Vienna, Virginia. Before that, Doug Turner from Dawsonville, Georgia. You can see pictures of that on my Facebook page. And we do have a lot of picks here. Gabe, what did you see in that caution, and what did you see on pit road?
Big wreck here. I'm trying to get a look at the replay here, but we got a little shake up there. It looks like Kyle Sharpens here in the 003 picked up a few positions on pit road maybe, but I'm trying to find the cause of that wreck. But it was big. We had a couple cars get up into the wall. It happened just after we went to caution break, or just after we went to break, trying to find the cause of the accident.
Yeah, I was able to locate that. It definitely looked like the 14 machine was a lap down. Gary, whew, not Gary Sheldon, one of our Garys. We got about 3 Garys in the race tonight. He maintained his line in the 73 of Jeremy Crandall. Jeremy Crandall in the 73 Scoops Ice Cream Machine just got into him. He came down a little bit. Gary came up a little bit. And they got together and it started what you might want to call a small big one. Not the big one, but a pretty small big one. They did take out a few cars, unfortunate.
Yeah, it looks like the 14, that's the Gary Weston machine, that K&N air filters number 14. Looks like he developed a Daytona push just coming up off the bottom there in turn number 2. That's why a lot of these guys prefer that the lap car stay on the outside, but it is the pack's obligation to try and work their way around the car. It is the lead lap driver's job to hold his line, which he really did until coming off of turn number 2, but got a little shake up here up front. Ricky Lake, the number 7 machine, he's going to run in third. He was running about 5th or 6th before the caution came out, so he's running very well. That also, it took out a few of the drivers, a few of the favorites. Like we had our pole sitter, the number 73 of Jeremy Crandall. He is out and he is gone. Or excuse me, he's on the racetrack. He has got a lot of right front and left front damage. So he's pretty much out of tonight's race, and that's really going to open up everybody's race here past the 1/4 distance, closing out on halfway here. It's going to get very interesting in the next few laps. We're going to see some drivers who we really haven't talked about yet come to the front, because now the faster cars are no longer a factor.
That is true, and I think we've got enough time here. I'm going to bring in the leader of the race real quick just to get a word with him and see what he thinks his chances are as far as the race is going. Tim Cox, this is Robert in the broadcast booth. How's your Xfinity car feel tonight, and what do you think your chances are of winning this race?
The car feels great tonight, Robert. Sorry about that. The car feels great, Robert. The goal here is just to stay up front. You know, we're working with about 3 or 4 guys up here, so our goal here is just to stay up front, stay out of trouble.
Sounds good, Tim. We wish you a lot of luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you in Victory Circle or one of the top 3 finishers. Good luck.
Thanks, Robert.
Cars working their way down the back straightaway here on lap number 30. Robert, final thoughts before we go back racing here on lap number 30.
Well, this restart is going to be very telling, Gabe. The guys had a pretty long green flag run there. They came in and got 4 Goodyear Eagle tires. They probably filled up with 2 full cans of Sunoco Racing fuel, because we do have 70 laps left in the race. It'll be really interesting to see which cars can team up together like he just mentioned. He's working with a few other cars to see who can make their way to the front.
Should be able to make it on one more stop depending on the fuel load here for the race tonight. 70 laps to go this time by as they come to the stripe. Lights are out atop the iRacing GT3 Porsche GT3 pace car. It's a brand new pace car that iRacing put out, and we can finally say Porsche because EA's license over Porsche is gone, and we're going to get a few Porsche race cars here on iRacing. That's going to be exciting. The 919 Hybrid and the 911. So it's going to get exciting here on iRacing. Be sure to join us. Be sure to join us here at Domino'S because we are back underway here on lap number 31. Big check up there in the back of the pack, but everybody up front still running well. Tim Cox in the 19 out front. Kyle Charpentier in the 003 on the top side.
Yes, and a new player up front, we have Ricky Lake in the number 7. He has made his way all the way up to 3rd position. Looks like Ricky.
Yep. All right, just tell me when. I'll bring us back in.
Yep.
Back here live at Daytona. I know you can't see it, but we're back here live. Lap number 34. We're a radio show for the time being. A little bit of technical issues here with the production hauler, so we're going to get back to the racing here. While we were away, Ricky Lake, he's going to move into the top spot by the time they come by the start-finish line that time by. Not going to happen, I should say, as he's just a little bit behind Tim Cox. He's going to keep that lead. Kyle Charpentier tried to get it a few laps ago in the 003, but it did not happen as they roll into turn number 2, going onto the back straightaway here on lap number 35. Inside lanes trying to prevail. We got about 6 or 7 cars there on the top side of the racetrack trying to make it work. Ricky Lake up top. Behind him a few other cars, but Robert, looks like that outside lane just doesn't have the oomph it needs.
That is correct, Gabe. We've seen this a lot of times in the past year at Daytona and Talladega. The inside lane is where you want to be primarily. You're going to have at least 2 more cars on the outside lane to get the momentum to make a pass. We've seen it happen. It can happen, and maybe it will happen. It looks like right now Josh Bonwell in the 56 Ford is right behind the Mustang of Ricky Lake. If they can get together and a few more cars behind them can team up, bumper to bumper, they can get around, maybe clear the leaders.
Lap car to the outside, the 58 of William E. Moore is going to duck out of the way and let the leaders go by him. 19 of Tim Cox still in the lead, the 003 of Kyle Charpentier in second, and that third car, Gary Sexton, he's pulling away now. He is all by himself up to the top side. So we got a little bit of a shuffle up front. They're going to be side by side by the time they come to the start-finish line. They're 3 wide for the lead. Here comes Ricky Lake to the middle. He's going to get the lead here on lap number 37. A great move. It's a shame nobody got to see it. It was an amazing move. The 003 and the 19 got together on the front straightaway. They got each other loose, and the 7 was able to split the middle and get the lead by the time they got to the straightaway.
I tell you what, Gabe, I've been watching this for a while, and that's one of the greatest moves I've seen. It only lasted for a second. He did get to lead that lap. Right now it looks like the 003, with the push from Dwayne Cooper in the 00, is going to get back around Ricky Lake in the 7. At least the 003, a call. Charpentier will definitely make the pass to get back into the lead position, but that was an unbelievable move by the 7.
It's got to be the move of the race so far here as we close in on lap number 40 as they come by the stripe this time by. Just crossing it now to the exit of pit road. Now going into turn number 1. Kyle Charpentier in the lead. The 7 of Ricky Lake behind him. And that outside lane trying to get back together. Dwayne Cooper in the 00 trying to make it work on the outside with the 56, the 78, and the 018 on the top side of the racetrack.
Yes, Gabe, we've got some other players up here near the front. We have Dean Viney in the 71. He's in the Camaro. He's up to 8th position. We've also got Michael Atkins Jr. We've got Michael Atkins Jr. in the 018 on the outside. He's in the Liberty-sponsored Camaro, looks like. He's on the outside lane up to 9th position. We've also got Ling McNeese in the 84. He's on the outside. He's up to 10th position. That's the furthest he's been up so far in this race, I think, Gabe. We also have Ellery Queen, otherwise known as Jay Queen. He's in the 62 Camaro. He is on the outside up to 12th position. And another player we haven't talked about yet, Gabe, Richard Dix in the 21 Camaro. He is up to 11th. Chad Payne, we talked about him earlier. He's in that Coors number 9 Ford Mustang GT. He's made his way all the way up to 13. He's got a very close friend of mine, fellow racer Ryan Steinacher in the 48 DC solar-powered Camaro. He is up to 14th position. These guys are racing clean. They're trying to just be in a position, Gabe, to where when this race gets down to 10 to go, they'll be in a position to make a move and make their way to the front.
Robert, while you were talking, the 00 Dwayne Cooper ends up moving into the lead around the 003 of Kyle Charpentier. He's going to move out front, and those two are going to break away just a little bit. Welcome back here to Daytona, by the way. We got the picture. We're no longer the radio show we were for a few laps. Now here on lap number 40, the 00 is going to be on the bottom side.
That is true, Gabe. It looks like Ricky just made another great move to the outside. He's in that 7 Mustang GT. He's got a little bit of rear end damage there, Gabe, but that rear end damage is not slowing Ricky down at all. It almost reminds me of Ricky Bobby. He's making his way to the front. He's already led 1 lap. He has got that taste in his mouth of leading here at Daytona, his first inaugural race in the Xfinity car, and he is hungry to get a win tonight.
going to move into that second spot on the outside lane of the racetrack. Got Tim Cox, our leader, who has led most of the race here. He's going to be in fourth on the outside lane. They're going to try and make it work there on the outside of the racetrack. That 00 still out front. The 003 on the bottom side of the racetrack, Kyle Charpentier. Followed by him, Gary Sexton, Josh Bonwell on the outside. And Richard Dix in that 21 Junior Motorsports machine. They're trying to make it work on the inside. 2 cars out on top, and a little bit of a breakaway back to the 56 of Josh Bonwell. So they're not going to get much help here, but I don't think they need it. That's 7 of Ricky Lake. He's going to try and make the move. They're side by side coming to the line. It looks like Ricky Lake they tied. They were tied that time when they came by the stripe, Ricky Lake and Dwayne Cooper. Looks like Dwayne Cooper got the benefit of the doubt, so he's going to lead lap number 41, excuse me.
I tell you what, Gabe, you don't get much better racing than when you tie at the line at Daytona. I don't care if you're in the Xfinity car, the Camper World truck, or the Top Shelf Cup car. That is a great race right there. And again, fans, I want to remind you, you've got exactly 8 laps left to get your pick in. If you want to win the free pizza dinner, text 919.
Oh, contact up front. There goes the 7. 7's around into the 21. Ricky Lake spins around, a couple of more cars collected.
Big wreck here on lap 42. While we get that replay brought up, I do want to finish that thought real quick.
Cars
Their
still
game.
piling in.
This is what you call the big one. He almost had it saved there. Of course, when you're running 195 miles an hour, you get a little bit loose.
They are still wrecking. Drivers piling in, and unfortunately not using the middle pedal there, the brake, and a couple more cars plow into the end of that wreck. Sorry, Robert.
Hey, no problem, no problem. Things like that happen. Like I said, Ricky almost saved that car. He got a little bit squirrely, almost had it saved. But, of course, when you're running 195 miles an hour, things are going to happen. And the guys behind him, the brake package on these cars, Gabe, are so small. You hit the brakes doing 195 miles an hour, it's going to take you forever to slow down. You're just kind of along for the ride.
So we get that cleaned up here. Yeah, you want to remind these guys, just, again, you want to text that number. Robert, give it to them after I get done saying this. You want to text that number, get your pick in. You can win a free pizza courtesy of Domino'S if you can select the right winner. And so far, every favorite we've had, they've been caught up in a wreck. Sorry, Robert, what's the number?
I like that, Gabe. That's really good on the favorites. It's a brother team in the race. And that we also have Chuck Dix and Charles Dix, father and son team in the race. That number is 919-883-7497. You might want to change your pick now after that big one. You still got about 6 or 7 laps to go. But the first person to accurately pick the winner of this race in 6 laps will win a free large 3-topping pizza, carry out only at your local Domino's store.
Drivers come down to pit road. We're going to take a break here as we close in on halfway. We're going to get the track cleaned up and get the order re-racked here at Daytona for the IWRAPS 250. 44 laps down, 66 to go here at Daytona. We'll be right back here on the All Pro Racing Network. Back here live at Daytona, closing in on halfway of the IWRAPS 250 100 laps here tonight for the inaugural race of the Domino's TYJ Xfinity Series in the 2017 season. We're bringing in the new year with a little bit of Xfinity car racing. Robert, we're closing in on halfway. We had a couple of small wrecks and one big wreck, taking out almost a good percentage of the field. Got about 19 or 20 cars still on the lead lap, drivers dropping like flies. That's gonna mean a couple of these drivers, like we saw Marcus Potts in the number 2. I just saw his name. He was the first driver we saw go a lap down a few laps ago, or in the first few laps of the race. He is now running in the 6th spot. So he and I believe Donald Stewart was with him, or somebody in the back of the pack there. They're now up front. It was David Wright, I believe, in the 42. They're up inside the top 15. So these drivers taking advantage of these big wrecks.
Yes, Marcus Potts. This is Robert in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Marcus, you're up to, looks like 6th position. Tell us what happened in that last caution. Obviously, you avoided it. And how's your car feel? What are your chances to win this race, Marcus?
I was just around the back for that first little bit of that run right there, and I just decided to stay right there, and I just heard the caution come, and I just seeing everybody wrecking. I just decided. Normally I try to go through it, but I just decided to stop that time, and it paid off. Car's pretty good. Just trying to finish it out. That's the main objective, not for Daytona especially. It's just trying to finish the race. But I feel like we can get a good top 10 tonight, if not top 5.
Yes, sir. I understand you are seeking a professional racing career. Give us real quick your Facebook page so the fans that are watching can get in touch with you, and maybe I think you have a GoFundMe page also.
Yes, it's Marcus Parts Racing on Facebook. It's Marcus _Potts_ on Instagram and Twitter, and they're both on all the social media sites. So you'll find the GoFundMe page. We're trying to race local in North Carolina and some in South Carolina for the NASCAR Wheel-In All-American Series, and maybe some in the late model series, and just trying to get that going for this year. Leaf Walk Racing.
Yes, sir. Hey, we appreciate you being in the series. Hopefully here on iRacing you've learned a lot that will help you in your career. I've known Marcus, like I said earlier on the Facebook post, for over a year. He's a very dedicated, smart, committed, and giving young man. He's helped us out a lot in our series here. And we wish you a lot of luck tonight, but more importantly, Marcus, we wish you luck in the 2017 season.
Thank you, Robert.
Meanwhile, back up front, the pace car is going to pull off, and Tim Cox is going to lead the field yet again. Dwayne Cooper was your leader at the time of the caution, but he gets jumped by that number 19 during the pit stops, and also during the restart here. Scary Sexton, he's going to pull the back bumper in that number 31. They're almost going to door each other going into turn number 1, but they keep it clean there going into turn number 1. Out of turn number 2 onto the back straightaway here on lap number 47. Josh Bonwell in the 56 right there behind him. Kyle Charpentier also completing that inside lane. Trying to form it up there. That top side of the racetrack not looking too healthy. As I say that, Michael Atkins Jr. in the 018 is going to jump to the top side, putting it to 4 cars on that top side of the racetrack. Now he's going to cut down to the bottom, cutting off. It looks like James Sombecki in the number 1 machine gets a little bit loose, but he's going to maintain it under control. Looks like the race up front is starting to heat up. The 00 of Dwayne Cooper out front on the top side of the racetrack. Now he's going to try and get out front, period, going into 1. Looks like he's going to pull a nose ahead as they circle around the racetrack here on lap number 48. That momentum trying to carry him on the outside. Stewart in the 78 there. Donald Stewart in the 78. He's trying to get him that push, but these Xfinity cars, they don't push up too well. The bumpers are flat, so when you do push, you can get sucked up and go for a little while without trying to spin out the car in front of you, but it's kind of hard to get to that back bumper. And as I say that outside lane is going to fizzle out, and that's going to allow Tim Cox in that number 19 machine to move out front yet again.
Yes, Gabe, we have another player up front here, Eric Hawk, in the 20 car, is up to 7th position in his Chevrolet Camaro. He's been in the back of the pack earlier in the race. He's made his way up to the front. He's definitely going to get his first win in the Domino's TYJ Racing Series. He's not been a winner yet. He's been close many times. And these guys are 2 by 2, 4, 5, 6 rows back.
They come down the back straightaway here on lap number 49. Lap car is going to move out of the way. It's going to cause a shuffle there. Inside that 66, got to get the name on that driver. We're going to follow the guys up front.
That was a very close call, Gabe.
Looks like Jack Watts in the 66 gets out of the way of everybody. Very close, but everybody gets away unscathed. That is going to break the momentum of the outside lane with Dwayne Cooper in the 00. But we come here on lap number 50. I'd like to say one more time, get your picks in for the winner of the race. At halfway, we close the poll. If you can get that driver correctly guessed by halfway, you will win a free pizza courtesy of Domino's. The number is 919-883-7497.
Yes, Gabe, these are just some of the picks we have already. We have got a few people who have picked Tim Cox to win this race. We have a few people who picked Gary Sexton. We have one person who's picked Jeff T. Martin to win this race. We've also got some other fans who have picked, let's see, the 31 car. Josh Bonwell has been picked to win this race. William Moore has been picked to win this race by 2 or 3 different people. I tell you what, we really appreciate it, fans, and we will definitely let you know, hopefully before the end of the race or by the end of the race, actually when the race is over. And if you're the winner, we're going to try to get you in here for a telephone interview before the broadcast is over.
On lap number 51 now, so the poll is now closed. Get your final submissions in here. They are now closed, so any picks we take now are no longer valid. I want to say one thing, that 00 Dwayne Cooper, he did take the lead that time by 19 one-thousandths of a second. He's going to move that 00 into the lead, but now he's going to move back into third, maybe just a little bit farther back is Josh Bonwell in the 56. He's going to get around him. He's going to get clear by the time they come off 4.
Yes, Gabe, Josh Bonwell in that 56, he has been up front all night long, it seems like. He's been in the outside lane. He's finally moved down to the low lane here at lap 52. I think he's finally figured out if he's going to make his way to the front, he's going to have to be in the low lane, at least for this part of the race. He's in that Ford Mustang GT, one of my favorite cars in iRacing, and we definitely wish him a lot of luck. This is definitely getting exciting. Of course, behind him we have the 003 of Kyle Carpentier. He's one of our newer drivers, very, very talented driver. He's in that Toyota Camry. Haven't had talked about many Toyotas tonight. We've also got on the outside Michael Atkins Jr. He's in the 018 in that Liberty-sponsored car we talked about earlier. Again, we have Eric Hall in position number 7 in the 20. I'm going to go through the field here in just a minute. Get a look at these great paint schemes. We also have David Wright in position 9 in the 42 Camaro. Up against the wall, but he does not hit it there. He keeps it off the wall there. He's running up pretty good there in 9th position. He just got passed, however, by Brent Scott, who got in the wall himself. Of course, he's a lap down in 19th. Back up to these leaders. We've got James Somke in the number 1. He's in the Arctic Cat Camaro. He is in 10th position. He's made his way up front smartly.
Tim Cox in that 19 still out front. Here as they come on the lap number 53 on the 54. Dwayne Cooper in second in that 00, trying to get that outside lane moving, but it's not happening so far. We've seen it work a few times, but not consistently, and they were not able to get clear most of the time. The 3-car breakaway on the top side with one more car on the outside kind of trailing behind. It's going to be a 7-car train there on the inside of the racetrack. The 19, the 31, 56, and 003 there on the bottom side of the racetrack, just to name a few drivers. It's like Chad Payne, the 9 on the inside. He's going to duck out of the way of everybody. Going to pull to the apron and get out of the way of the lead lap drivers. That's the 42, David Wright. He's actually closed the gap a lot in the last few feet, actually, because he was 3 or 4 car lengths back a few laps ago. Now closed up to the back bumper of the outside lane.
Yes, he's having a terrific race tonight, David Wright is. And a little bit further back, the second pack, it looks like, is being led by the 08 of Michael Jeans. He's running in 12th position in that Toyota Camry. Behind him, we have Nick Reynolds in the 10 Chevrolet Camaro. Those guys are teaming up, trying to maintain their position so they at least stay on the lead lap here. We've also got Ray Richer. He's a lap down, looks like, in 22nd. Chad Payne is 29th, at least a lap down. Marcus Potts, we interviewed him earlier. He's fallen all the way back to 14th position. Looks like he's out here all by himself, Gabe. I wonder what happened to Marcus.
Well, he did pit there on that under the caution, but it's like he may just be trying to do the strategy he said, just kind of stay out of the way. hopefully get another caution and race up front toward the end. Had a big old gaggle of lap cars, but they were able to negotiate them cleanly. And Tim Cox in the 19 still out front with a 00 on the outside. Dwayne Cooper. I'll talk about a few cars we haven't talked about. Michael Jeans in the 08. He's teamed up with Nick Reynolds in the 10. And they're just behind the 101, or excuse me, the 15. It looks like he is Jeff T. Martin is a lap down. So those two drivers trying to work together to get back up front. A few more drivers. William E. Moore, saw a few people pick him. Still on the lead lap with our pole sitter, Jeremy Crandall. Those two drivers working together. And right behind them, Lynn McNeese in the 84 and Wesley Whitfield in the 18th spot. Those are your final drivers on the lead lap. It looks like they're trying to switch and get a little bit of air to that 07's nose. Back up front here, closing in on 40 laps to go here on lap number 57. Tim Cox still out front. And we've got a lull in the action. We're going to take one more commercial break here before the end of the race. We're going to have a few more, but going to get back to you and do a lot of green flag racing, hopefully. This is the Domino's TYJ Xfinity Series from Daytona. It's the IWRAPS 250 100 laps main event here tonight, the first of the 4 Crown Jewel events in 2017. We'll be right back here on the All Pro Racing Network. Back here live at Daytona, lap 61 of our 100 lap race here tonight, bringing in the new year in 2017 with the Domino's TYJ Xfinity Series, the Crown Jewel event, the first of 4 races here at Daytona, Charlotte, Indy, and Homestead. Drivers a little bit of a boost in their not only just winning the race, but also a little bit more of a cash prize for these drivers who can win tonight's race, and might just be Tim Cox in that number 19 machine. Gary Sexton behind him. They're working well together there on the bottom side of the racetrack. Haven't really seen them break apart here in the last couple of laps. And Robert, while we got a little bit of a lull in the action, I want to talk about these drivers. You got to be pretty impressed because we saw, I don't want to say it, but it was pretty much a wreck fest during the preseason because the drivers, some of them, they had never raced with Domino's before, and some of them, they really just didn't care. As Josh Bodwell, he's going to get loose on the inside of the racetrack. The 56 pounds the wall hard on the inside.
Wow, absolutely, Gabe. Looks like we stay green here.
We're going to stay green here on lap 62. Looks like he just got loose there on the exit of turn number 4 there on the apron. But yeah, I want to go back to what I was talking about. It was pretty much a wreck fest in a few of the, especially Talladega races at Atlanta. Drivers just not really knowing how to drive around each other. But this has got to be pretty impressive for you and got to show some good light to the drivers you have selected to join the league.
Yes, Gabe, we've been very fortunate and very blessed. We're very thankful for the team, the group of drivers we have in the Domino's TYJ Racing family. It has taken a big effort on a lot of people's part to put together a group of drivers who are close to being equally competitive in each of our series. The Infinite Truck Series, which starts live February 22nd on Wednesday nights. Of course, this Premier Xfinity Series, which started tonight. And, of course, our Top Shelf Cup Series, which starts next Thursday night, fans. Make sure you don't miss that either. We're going to be offering the free pizza dinner giveaway for all 3 of our series. But, yes, sir, Gabe, we had 42 drivers take the field tonight. Like I mentioned earlier, we had about 4 or 5 drivers who could not get in the field. They were unable to get the provisionals in. Hopefully they'll be here in 2 weeks. We currently still have, it looks like, 16 drivers on the lead lap. Every one of these drivers, Gabe, went through 1 or 2 tryout races where they had to qualify to make it into our league. We're looking for clean, competitive drivers only, and that is basically what we found. We've seen a lot of exciting racing action tonight. We've got a lot of talented drivers who know how to race around each other, and that's the secret, Gabe. You get guys together, you give them some practice sessions where they can learn each other's faults and each other's strong points. You've got teammates that work together, and you can have a good series together, and that's what we're looking for here in 2017. And by the way, we're especially thankful to have All Pro Broadcasting and Michael D'Amico running the camera work, and you, Gabe, back in the booth for us for Domino's TYJ Racing.
Good to be back, Robert, here in the official Domino's TYJ season. Did a few preseason races, but it's good to be back here in the actual real thing. We got a battle for the lead here in the 19 of Tim Cox lost it. Dwayne Cooper got it, and it looks like Donald Stewart in the 78 is going to take it away from him. Get a little bit of shove. Oh, there goes the 00. Dwayne Cooper gets loose on the inside of the racetrack as well. He's going to save it. Like he got shoved to the apron through the tri-oval, and the car just kind of got unbalanced on him and ends up sliding through the infield grass and gets on the brakes and ends up scraping that inside wall just a little bit, damage to the rear wing, or rear spoiler, I should say, and he's going to get back underway, so we still remain under green flag condition.
Absolutely, Gabe. He will have an opportunity to come back down pit road if we do have a caution and get some damage repaired. That's just what happens when things come along. Tight racing, things happen, guys get into each other, you get a little bit of damage. That's what makes this racing very unique and very special. Fans have seen this kind of racing in NASCAR for many, many years at Daytona and Talladega. You've got to have a lot of ingredients. These guys and their teams and their crews spend hours at the shop putting together their race cars in the wind tunnel to get their aero package perfect. They've got to have right pit strategy, and at the end of the day, Gabe, you're not going to win all these races if you don't have a little bit of luck on your side.
And talk about luck, that 42 of David Wright, he's going to move into the lead the first time we've seen him in the lead. Leaders are going to split that lap car, and that's going to send Gary Sexton into the wall. Drivers splitting that lap car who stayed in the middle of the racetrack, made a wrong decision and let the leaders have to work their way around him. That's the number 94, but Curtis Young stayed in the middle side of the racetrack. That's Curtis Young, but Gary Sexton ends up getting loose and gets into the wall, overcorrects, and goes up into the wall in turn number 3.
Yes, Gabe, as we're getting this replay pulled up, I'm looking at this very close, and if you're watching the 31, which would actually be Gary Sexton, he's making an aggressive move to avoid the 19 of Curtis Young, and his car just gets a little bit aero loose. 94. Yeah, sorry about that. He's making an aggressive move to avoid the 94 of Curtis Young, and his car gets a little bit aero loose. He tries to correct it, and it puts himself right into the wall. What an unfortunate occurrence.
It's going to end a stretch of about 30 green flag laps here, the longest green flag stretch of the night. That's going to secure David Wright in the 42 in the lead for the time being. It's going to put Tim Cox into second, Michael Atkins Jr. in the 018 into third. For your podium, two drivers we really hadn't talked about all night, and one driver we talked about all night. But this is just like Daytona. You get toward the end, a bunch of the favorites early in the race end up wrecking, and a couple of the drivers you didn't talk about end up moving to the front.
Yes, sir, Gabe. This is going to shake things up big time. We're going to have about 23, 25. Actually, it looks like we're going to have about 30 laps to go when we go back green here. And looks like the guys are coming down pit road. Who are you going to cover, Gabe?
Drivers coming into their pit boxes. David Wright, he's got the 36th pit stall there as he comes into third, so he's going to have a long way to come as they come off of pit road. Tim Cox in the number 19. He's going to pull into that second pit stall clean room in front of him. Going to get the right side jacked up, and he's going to take two tires, and he's going to come out in the lead. He's going to have the 78 right behind him of Donald Stewart.
Exactly, Gabe. There you go. There's part of that pit strategy. You take two tires here. You don't have to take any more Goodyear Eagles the rest of the night, the rest of this 30 laps. Hopefully you can save enough fuel to make it to the end. That could have been the call to win this race.
Might just be because even though we're at Daytona, track position, as we've seen on that inside lane, is everything. And we're going to take a quick commercial break here as we get the field re-racked and the track cleaned up after that little bit of an incident in turn number 3. This is the IWRAPS 250 at Daytona here on the All Pro Broadcasting Network.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Welcome back, race fans. Sorry about that, Gabe. To the IWRAPS 250 live at Daytona International Raceway. IWRAPS out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. Look good going fast. Gabe, wanted to bring in the booth real quick. David Wright, who's running in 4th position in that Chevrolet Camaro. He's having a great run tonight. Let's talk to him real quick.
David Wright, All Pro Broadcasting Network booth. You got a copy?
10-4, Booth. Got a copy here.
Well, it looked like you were basically out of it in the first part of tonight's race because you were in the back with Marcus Potts and you guys were just fighting to stay alive. Ended up going a lap down, but now you're running fourth with a chance to win it with under 30 to go.
Yeah, there was a wreck that occurred that a caution didn't come out for, and it kind of got us behind the 8 ball, so to speak. And we've just gradually worked our way, and with a little luck, got ourselves up here. And had a little pit crew had a little problem on pit road just then. Come in with the lead and come out fourth, or they didn't get fuel in the car, so it took us a little longer. So, but my crew chief Alex Green's made some good calls, got me up here, and we'll see what happens.
See what happened here. We're coming to the green flag, David. We'll let you go.
10-4. Thank you.
Yes, Gabe, as we're getting ready to go back green here, we've got a lot of new players up front. Like we just said, we have David Wright in the 42 machine. We've also got Nick Reynolds in the 10. He's up to 5th position. We're back to green.
Green flag back here at Daytona. One car loose there on the bottom side of the racetrack. Looks like he's just going to get out of the way of the rest of the field. David Wright, we just talked to him in that 42. That blue and orange machine is going to duck to the bottom side of the racetrack. Third in line on the inside. Donald Stewart in the 78 on the outside of the racetrack. Marcus Potts going to try and form up with him. It's not going to happen. It's going to be a 5-car breakaway out the front. So we're closing in on 1 quarter to go. 3 quarters through the race, 75 laps. We're at lap 72 right now.
Yes, Gabe, and Donald Stewart got, as we call it in racing, hung out to dry there on the outside. He's going to fall back in, probably into position number 6. He's in the 78 Haviland Camaro. He's been up front all night long, Gabe, and I'm sure he's going to have something to say before this race is over.
Battle for the lead, Michael Atkins Jr. all by himself there up front. He's got the 78 coming with him, but not going to be there in time as they come by the stripe. Tim Cox still in the lead. He's got David Wright in the 42 behind him. Lap number 73, almost a little bit of contact in turn number 1. It's not going to happen. They're going to remain clean. It's like Marcus Potts in that number 2. He's going to fall just a little bit back. He's still in the sniff of the draft there in the top 5 cars.
Yes, Gabe, you can almost throw a blanket over these top 5 cars as they're battling here at Daytona. All these drivers are trying to get the very, very first win in the Domino'S TYJ Racing inaugural Xfinity race. We have not run Xfinity cars before this season. This is season number 2, and all these guys are racing their hearts out. My hat is off to each and every one of these drivers tonight. A little further back, it looks like we've got Jeremy Crandall in the 73 Scoops Ice Cream. He's got a drafting partner with him, Lynn McNeese in the 84 Camaro. He's got a little bit of rear end damage. They've also got behind him William E. Moore in the 58 in the Mustang GT. He's definitely got some rear end damage. We got a lot of beat up cars in this race, but these 3 cars together, if they stay bumper to bumper, they might be able to at least maintain with this lead pack and be ready in case something happens as far as a caution late in this race, Gabe.
Back up front, David Wright 2 by 3 to the top side of the racetrack. Marcus Potts on the bottom side trying to help Tim Cox to the lead again. They're going to leave that 42 of David Wright out to dry on the outside lane. They almost had it working there to push him to the lead, but it's not going to happen. That 018 of Michael Atkins Jr., he's going to take 3rd, and the 78 of Donald Stewart's going to move into 4th. It's going to be a 5-car single file yet again here for the next few laps as these drivers get ready to make another move.
Yes, Gabe, a little bit further back in the pack, we've got some other drivers of interest. I did want to mention, like I was talking about, back in 7th, we have Nick Reynolds in the 10.
I'm sorry, Robert, cut you off, but we got Marcus Potts up front in that number 2 machine trying to make it work on the outside by himself. It's not going to happen. He tried to make the momentum from a push, move him up front, but it's going to fizzle out there, and he's going to drop back into 5th.
Yes, Gabe, it almost looks like a game of chess up here with these top 5 cars. It looks like David Wright had the same chance a couple of laps ago. He got hung out to dry. He fell back to 5th. Marcus Potts made a move for the lead there. He got hung out to dry, fell back to 5th, with David Wright up to 4th now. So basically the next 24 laps is going to be a game, if we don't have any more cautions, Gabe, which could happen, of which driver is going to go with you. You make a move to the outside, who's going to go with you? If nobody goes with you, we've seen it twice in a row. Just then, you're going to be hung out to dry. The good news is you lose 2-3 spots. You're still in this big group of 5. But if somebody will go with you, which I predict will happen with 10 to go, Gabe, if not before, we're going to have some serious action up front here.
Car's getting a little bit strung out here, but that's not going to last here as these drivers going to get back in the draft and try and suck up to the car in front of them. The 0-18 and the 19 up front. It's Michael Atkins Jr. and Tim Cox, followed by him, Donald Stewart. We got a couple of lap cars there up front. In front of these drivers, it looks like the 101 of David Gainford is going to pull to the top side of the racetrack and let these guys go. Next few drivers are Eric Hawk and Ellery Queen, but they're a few laps away from catching them. Looks like that lead pack is getting strung out just a little bit. Marcus Potts and David Wright are just a little bit farther back from these top 3. So, yeah, Robert, if you lose a few positions, it's not the end of the world. But if these drivers get some momentum and end up pushing away from you, your race is pretty much over for the win.
And that is exactly what Nick Reynolds in the 10 is wondering right now in the Camaro. He's got, I think, a drafting partner, Michael Jeans, in the 08. And behind him, we've got Wesley Whitfield in the 07. I know those are teammates. Dwayne Cooper in the 000, the 00 Camaro. He was leading a lot of laps earlier. These cars are just hoping they can maintain a close enough sniff of that lead pack so that when we get to 10 to go, they'll have a chance to catch them, maybe make a pass for the lead.
Battle up front. Michael Atkins Jr. in the 0-18 moving into the lead with help from the 2 of Marcus Potts out up front. Tim Cox on the inside trying to make it work, trying to maintain that lead, but a little bit of contact, a little bit of dooring, and Marcus Potts is going to thread the needle and move to the inside, go into second for the time being. He's going to try and get second from that 0-18 of Michael Atkins Jr. It looks like he's going to get it here on lap number 79.
And I want to point out one other car we talked about earlier, Gabe. Josh Bondwell in the 56 Ford Mustang. I know I'm saying that a lot. That's my favorite car. He is at her all by himself, looks like in 9th position. His car looks very clean. If we can get a look at his car, the back end has 0 damage. I'm looking at the front end of this car. He's got a little bit of front end damage, which is definitely hurting his speed right now. He's only running at 180 miles an hour. He is up to 9th position. Josh is running a pretty smart race. I think he's going to try to get a top 10 here. If he can get one more car to help him draft, he can maintain position. And I don't think he's got the car to pull off the win tonight, but he's definitely one of our new, very talented drivers, Game, Josh Bonwell. And we'll see what happens.
Marcus Potts up front trying to make that move, but it's not going to happen. He's going to slide into that 3rd spot at least here there on the outside lane. Now he's going to fall back into that 5th spot if that 42 is going to be able to maintain that inside lane. That's going to move Tim Cox into the lead yet again.
How many laps has Tim led tonight, Gabe? It's got to be at least 20, 30 laps of these 100. He's definitely been out front more than anybody, I would guess.
He's been one of the more dominant cars here tonight, that 19 of Tim Cox, but he's got the 018 of Michael Atkins Jr. to the outside, trying to side draft and get some air off of that rear spoiler, but not going to happen with all those drivers tucked up behind him. He's going to need somebody to push him up front, and all this side-by-side racing is allowing Nick Reynolds, Michael Jeans, and Jeremy Crandall, Michael Jeans and Nick Reynolds, those are the 2 drivers and a couple of lap cars behind them. They're now into this mix, so we got a 7-car battle for the win.
Yes, it looks like Tim Cox will lead his 49th lap. He definitely has led more laps than anybody in the race tonight. He's definitely a favorite. A lot of fans have picked him. And the 018 of Michael Atkins Jr., he's definitely not giving up. He's got a little bit of a side draft there. He's pulling up right beside him going down the back stretch. And he's got some help here from the 10.
Oh, they're 3 wide.
Oh, they're coming, 3 wide here down, going into turn number 1.
3 wide for the lead going into turn number 3, Robert. 19 on the bottom side of the racetrack. That's the 10 of Nick Reynolds there on the outside. He was 6th last lap, trying to get the lead this time by. He's almost clear as they come through the trial. We've got the 08 of Michael Jeans behind him. He's clear. So for the first time tonight, move that Rockstar Energy Chevy Camaro into the lead.
I was just talking about that group of cars. They were bumper to bumper, and I was saying if they could just stay maintained, they might be able to catch this lead pack. And before we could even think twice about it, Gabe, he has got the lead here with that group of cars right behind him. Now we have a race on our hands.
Race on our hands, closing in on 15 laps to go here. Before we get to the end of this race, we're going to take one more commercial break before it gets good up here up front. This has been the Domino's TYJ Xfinity Series. We'll be right back here for the IWRAPS 250 at Daytona. This is the All Pro Broadcasting Network.
Welcome back, race fans, to the IWRAPS 250 live at Daytona International Speedway. This is the Domino'S TYJ Racing Xfinity Series inaugural race on All Pro Broadcasting. Up front, we definitely have got a battle for you fans for the last 13 laps here. These leaders are having to dodge lap cars on the high side. They're having to maintain and not get in each other, and we've definitely got a race on our hands here for the last 12 laps.
Closing in on 10 laps to go here at Daytona. The 10 and the 08, that's Nick Reynolds and Michael Jeans in that 08 Monster Energy machine. The two energy drink cars, Rockstar up front and Monster Energy right behind, end up working their way up front from about 4.5 seconds back up to the lead, so they've got to be some of the best pushers we've seen all night. They were able to do it on the outside of the racetrack. Coming into turn number 3, lap cars being avoided. It is still a race up front. We've got a 7-car breakaway. Final car on the lead lap is Jeremy Crandall in the 73, and he is 22 seconds back. So this front pack, as long as we don't get a caution here, they will be your winners, or at least one of them will be one of your winners. At 42, David White, he is trailing at this pack. He's right beside Marcus Potts in that number 2 machine. We've seen him just kind of straggle there. Hasn't been able to work his way back up front after that round of pit stops there after the caution.
Gabe, I got to ask you a quick question. Are these guys, are they good on fuel? I heard one radio communication saying he was good on fuel. I'm not giving a car number out, but I'm wondering if all these lead pack cars are good on fuel or if any of them are going to be right on the line there on the fuel.
I think they should be good with the way that these guys are cracking out of the throttle here in the draft. They should have saved enough fuel if they were on the cusp of making it, but they should have enough fuel to make it to the end. Side-by-side battle for the lead. Dwayne Cooper's on the outside of the racetrack. He's up front. Big wreck up front. The 08 of Michael Jeans. He's going to get turned up the racetrack by Tim Cox in the 19. Big wreck here on lap number 88 is going to take out some of our contenders. Marcus Potts is going to get involved in it as well. As Dwayne Cooper in the 00 was just a lap car trying to work his way up front and get on the lead lap with that number 19 of Tim Cox, but we're going to get the replay up for you. It's like 19 just got a little bit loose or tried crowding the inside lane. Looks like it. He just got a little bit light going into 1 and ended up turning down in the racetrack into the number 08.
Yes, Gabe, these drivers up the lead pack have got a lot of laps on these tires, and it happens when these tires get a lot of wear on them. There's a lot of rubber put down on the track. You're still running 190 miles an hour. You make just the slightest move on the steering wheel, and the back end of these Xfinity cars can get light. That's exactly what happened to Tim Cox in the 19. Unfortunately, he got in to a couple of the cars. Michael Jeans in the 08 machine. This is going to change everything.
That should put about 4 or 5 cars on the lead lap with all the shot to win it. We're going to have to see where these pit stops end out, and this will be our final commercial break before we hit the end of tonight's race. Remember to we're keeping track. If any of you picked either David Wright, Jeremy Crandall Crandall's still in this one. If he can get a little bit of his damage repaired, he still has a shot at it if anybody picked that number 73 machine. But we're going to go to commercial. We're going to be back for the conclusion of the IWRAPS 250 at Daytona.
Welcome back, race fans, to the IWRAPS 250. We're going to have about 7 laps to go on this restart. Real quick, I'm going to get the leader of the race, Nick Reynolds, up here. Nick Reynolds, Robert in the broadcast booth. How did you get the lead here at the end of the race? And what do you think your chances are of winning this one with about 7-8 laps to go?
I think we got a pretty good chance here, Robert. Me and Jeans, we Southeast Motorsports guys, a bunch of us just hung out the back and everything got singled up, and me and Jeans just saw an opportunity and we went 3 wide, and the car's been really good. I don't know what happened right there at the last caution, but now I think I'm out here without a teammate, so we'll see what's going to happen, but I think we got just as good a shot as anybody else behind us.
Sounds great, Nick. We wish you luck, and hopefully we'll talk to you in Victor Lane or in the top 3.
All right, thank you, sir.
We're going to end up with about 6 cars on the lead lap, 5 cars in contention for tonight's win.
Yes, Gabe, this has definitely been a typical Daytona Xfinity race. You've got a lot of cars that started out in the back like he just mentioned. They had a game plan. They worked with their teammates. They stayed together. And here they are, at least one of them, up front to win this inaugural race. And a lot of other guys just had unfortunate bad luck, which we know happens. We've also got Michael Atkins Jr. up here. He's in the 018 Liberty University Camaro. He's got a little bit of rear end damage, but he can contend for the win here. And I don't want to leave out a couple of other new drivers. Donald Stewart in the 78 Texaco Haviland Camaro. He's running 3rd. He's definitely got as good a shot as anybody. And David Wright in the Camaro. We interviewed him earlier. He's one of our newer drivers. He's learned a lot lately. And he is from right here from the heart of North Carolina, probably about an hour away from where I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's good to have him with a good show tonight. He could win this race. And don't forget Jeremy Crandall in the 73 Scoops Ice Cream Camaro. He's had a clean race all night long. He stayed up front. I'm not sure if he's letting laps or not, but he's definitely looking good. And there we go. We got Wesley Whitfield. I think he is a teammate to Nick Reynolds. Wesley's in that 07 Camaro. And these guys, I would almost put money on it. They're going to find a way to get together with 2-3 laps to go. Teammates there to try to get the win for one of them. It's going to be very exciting here at the end of the race, Gabe.
Drivers coming off of turn number 4 onto the front straightaway. We're going to take the green flag here, closing in on 5 laps to go here at Daytona.
Yes, and it definitely looks like Nick Reynolds got a good jump there. He does have the 018 of Michael Atkins on his outside in the Liberty University 78. Donald Stewart right on his bumper. They touch. A little bit of trade fade there. They keep it straight. They're definitely fighting for positions here with 5 laps to go, going down the backstretch. Looks like a 3-car breakaway at this point. We do have David Wright just watching what's going to happen. He's running 4th here in the 42 Camaro. And don't look now, but we have the 07 of Wesley Whitfield making a move on the 73 of Jeremy Crandall. I don't know if these guys battling side by side are going to have what it takes to get into that lead group. But David Wright, in my opinion, is in the catbird seat. He's got a run right now as we're talking, coming to the start-finish line. He's watching these front 3. He might be the one to sneak up and grab this win.
Haven't talked about Wesley Whitfield all night, but he's moving up into the top 5. Jeremy Crandall in that number 73 machine. He is running in 6th. Nick Reynolds up front, though. He's got these 4-driver breakaway here, closing in 5 laps to go. This time by, that means this race is official. We get a caution, the race is over.
And a little bit further back, we do have Lynn McNeese. He is in the 84 Camaro. He's got a little bit of damage. He's running 7th. He's got a shot to win this race if something happens up front. Behind him, we have William E. Moore in the 58. He's definitely got some rear damage on that Ford Mustang, but he's still in the thick of this, running 8th right now if something happens up front, like you said, with about 4 laps to go. And don't look now, but Josh Bonwell on the 56 Ford Mustang. His mother picks him for every race he's in. He has absolutely moved himself up into 9th. Making 8th position, Josh Bonwell moves up to. And he's got one of the cleanest looking cars out here, Gabe. in that 56 Ford Mustang. He's a few seconds back. Actually, he's in ninth position. But anything can happen here with the last few laps to go.
Drivers still racing up front. Nick Reynolds still in the lead. The 018 of Michael Atkins Jr. in now third, but he's working his way on the top side of the racetrack. Donald Stewart in the number 78, trying to work his way on the bottom side of the racetrack, pushing your leader, Nick Reynolds.
Yes, Michael Atkins Jr. in the Liberty University sponsored Camaro. Oh, and he gets turned by the 42. Looks like he just got picked up. We'll pull the replay here in just a minute. That could be the end of the race.
Race is over. Nick Reynolds is going to win it. That takes out basically your entire top five. Cars still wrecking, trying to get back onto the racetrack. Cars getting taken out. That's going to take out the 018 of Michael Atkins Jr. Donald Stewart in the 78.
Yes, Gabe, I'm pulling up this replay right now. It definitely looks like the 0118 was trying to side draft.
Looks like he just went for a hole that was not there. Yeah, like you said, just came down the racetrack, just drifted down just a little bit, ends up making contact with the 42, and the only driver to really make it out of it is Nick Reynolds.
Wow, that's some exciting action. Of course, these drivers did not want to see that up front, but that is definitely exciting. Wow, that's just definitely the way we wanted to see it in, but Nick definitely drove a smart race there, halfway through getting his lead up to the front with his teammate, and we just interviewed him. He definitely's got to win here. And we will get the drivers in for an interview in just a minute. Gabe, what are your first impressions of this inaugural race?
Well, for a Daytona race, it was relatively clean. I mean, when we got to the second half of tonight's race, it kind of started picking up because drivers wanted to win this, inaugural race for the Domino'S TYJ Xfinity Series. The drivers started getting more aggressive. They started making more desperate moves and side drafts, and we had lap cars racing up front trying to get on the lead lap just in case of a caution. They ended up being the caution, but the drivers are allowed to do that and race up front with the leaders, and it was just more intense, and we got what we wanted really for a Daytona race, and it really surpassed expectations for me at the start of the night.
I tell you what, it's been very exciting, and Gabe, what I found out from this race, where my first impressions are, the pit strategy has a lot to do with it. It also has a lot to do with luck. We've had a lot of these drivers like Jeremy Grandel's bringing his Scoops ice cream machine home in second place. He did lead from the beginning of the race with the pole position, but he raced a very clean race, and he's being rewarded very well. Wesley Whitfield started 40th and moved his way all the way up to third place. That's a great finish for him. David Wright, even though he was caught up in that last incident, is going to finish hopefully near the top 4 or 5 here in this race. And Lynn McNeese, who's been fighting an illness all week long, was able to wave off a substitute driver. We were going to have somebody substitute for him where he was, bring somebody up from the truck series, but he was able to fight through. He had a whole lot of liquids, IVs, before he got in the car tonight, and he was able to finish this race. It looks like in 6th position, Gabe.
Doing a very good job. Ends up coming home in 6th. Lynn McNeese does. First car 1 lap down. They're kind of putting him around the racetrack there on the back of the pack. Only 5 cars finish on the lead lap. Looks like Wesley Whitfield on pit road, along with Michael Atkins Jr. and David Wright. Looks like he's just coming off the pit road. So it looks like he's going to get your 3rd spot there on the podium, as Wesley Whitfield and Michael Atkins Jr. both are out of tonight's race.
I tell you what, Gabe, I'm going to have to double check on these the picks we had to see who might have picked Nick Reynolds for the win here. I'm going to try to get these drivers up ready for the interview, and we'll start with, looks like we probably ought to wait until the race finishes. They're going to finish out this lap. Make sure nobody runs out of fuel.
We're going to get the interviews for you directly after the finish of tonight's race to avoid another commercial break. We just had a bunch of cautions here in the late running. That's why we had a few cautions there toward late, just to allow us to gather our thoughts for the finish. So as soon as the race ends, we're going to grab all the drivers, maybe while they're still in the cars, and give them the interview that they deserve, and let the winners and the podium finishers talk to you one last time before we close out tonight's broadcast. Stay around turn number 1 into 2 here on the last lap. White flag in the air. Nick Reynolds rolling through turn number 2. He's going to collect win number 1 for him and win number 1 on the 2017 season.
Wow, that is definitely an excellent win. And while we're doing that, he takes the checkered flag up here. We're going to go ahead and bring in, speed things up. Am I looking at the right finishing order here? Has David Wright come home in third, Gabe?
Looks like he has, because the only two drivers who have finished the race in on the lead lap are your top three right now, as Wesley Whitfield and Michael Atkins Jr. both are out of the race. They are one lap down Whitfield is sitting on pit road. William E. Moore is looking through. Michael Atkins Jr. is also on pit road getting his car repaired, but we're going to talk to the 42 of David Wright here in just a moment. We're going to let the winner have his moment of glory here as they come off of turn number 4. He started toward the back of the pack. Nick Reynolds did. He started in 16th. He beats the pole sitter and the 42 of David Wright, who started in 36th. But coming off of turn 4 through the tri-oval, the pace car is going to lead him to the stripe. But the first car on track is the number 10 of Nick Reynolds. He's going to collect win number 1 in 2017.
Yes, that's an exciting race. We have caught up with the third place finisher. We have David Wright in the booth. This is Robert in the booth. David, congratulations, David. You've got your first, if I'm not mistaken, your first top 3 finish in Domino's TYJ Racing. You did it in an Xfinity car in the inaugural race live here on All Pro Broadcasting. David, tell us what you're feeling and what this third place finish means to you.
Robert, I'm not going to lie. It's I've needed some luck, and I got a little bit. I hate that last caution happened. I'd like for us to been able to really run it down. Super excited for this podium. It's been I knew I had the capabilities. I just needed a little bit of a break. Kept getting caught up in so much stuff. So happy to be here. Happy for y'all. Super excited to be in this league, and can't thank y'all enough. Super excited.
Now, David, real quick, you started back in 36. Looks like you didn't take a time. You wanted to stay out of trouble. It looks like this time, David, your pitch strategy worked. Would you have done anything any different tonight?
The only thing different that I would have probably changed would have been not getting so far back. There was a spin that I stopped for, thinking there was going to be a caution. It wasn't. It got me way behind, and that kind of hurt me a little bit. But other than that, strategy paid out pretty well.
Well, congratulations, David. We're definitely happy to have you in the league. You are from where in North Carolina? I know it's here in the heart of North Carolina. What city are you from?
I am in the Burlington-Elon area. I sit right between them, so we're kind of right here in the heart of NASCAR country. Been a long-time fan, so enjoying this greatly.
Well, congratulations, David. Who do you want to give a shout-out to for helping you get to this point as far as sponsors or anybody you'd like to thank?
Definitely got to thank Domino'S, TYJ for putting this all on. Don't have any sponsorship on the car, as you can see, but I got to thank my spotter, Alex Green, who came on board tonight and helped me out a whole bunch and crewed for me. So got to thank him. I really appreciate it.
Well, congratulations, David. We'll definitely see you in 2 weeks at Atlanta. Hopefully you'll have as much luck as you had tonight, and we will definitely talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, especially in the snow.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting weekend with snow for sure.
All right, Gabe, our second place finisher, if you want to speak to, is Jeremy Crandall. I'm going to bring him into the booth for you.
Jeremy Crandall started on the pole, but unfortunately did not lead a lap all night, but he still comes home in second. That's pretty good for running at Daytona in your inaugural race here with the Xfinity Series. Congratulations on your second step on the podium.
I like it. This your second place is like a win. We went through today. Like I said, starting out front and getting caught up in a wreck there and have to make a few trips down pit road, get her fixed back up. I gave it the best shot I got, and ended up coming home second. Quite a surprise, but I'll take it.
Now, if that caution didn't come out there with a few laps to go, you think you would have had a chance at beating that number 10 machine?
No, we didn't have anything. I could hang with everybody for the first lap and a half, and then too many dents and dings and missing parts on mine. They just drove off without any help. I couldn't do anything with them.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeremy, second place at Daytona is not a bad way to start off the season. 23 races in this season. So, what are your expectations for the championship? Are you going to run full time and try and get the cup?
Yeah, I'm gonna take this Scoop So Fast and Ice Cream Domino's Pizza Chevrolet. Hopefully everywhere. We can just get half the amount of luck we had in this finish here for the rest of the season. I think we'll be at least there for the fight. I don't know we're there.
All right, Jeremy, come home in second, as I said. Any sponsor you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, Scoop So Fast and Ice Cream down there in Vieira, Florida. And definitely Domino's and Robert and Michael there in All Pro, and everybody put this thing together. They're doing a good job. Looking forward to the rest of the season.
Jeremy Crandall in the number 17 machine, thank you for joining us. And we'll move over here and caught up with the number 10 machine in Victory Lane. Nick Reynolds, you come home with the first win of 2017. Congratulations.
Thank you, Robert.
This is Gabe.
Oh, my bad, man.
No, you're okay. We talked to you there under the caution there before the restart. Not the finish we were expecting. We thought we were going to get clean and green toward the finish, but you end up getting a caution that saves you. Do you think you could have held the guys off behind you for the win?
I was looking in my mirror down the straightaways and stuff, and I knew Donald was laying off. I knew he was planning something. When I finished, I can have but a gallon and a half of gas left, so it was going to be close either way. But I think we could have held them off. Southeast Motorsports, everybody at Southeast done a wonderful job tonight. Just glad that I wish they could have been there at the end, but they wasn't. I'm just glad we pulled it out, though.
All right, Nick, I asked Jeremy the same question. You start off 2017 with a win, so what's your expectations for the championship?
I think we're going to do pretty good. I know we walk into Atlanta next week. That's a home track for me, so I hope I'm going to have a pretty good showing there also.
All right, Nick, congratulations. Any sponsor shout you want to thank before we let you go?
Domino's, the league is, I think this is going to be a great league. I'm glad they let the whole Southeast Motorsports team in here. I'd like to thank everybody at Southeast Motorsports dominating the track tonight. Maybe we can do it again in Atlanta. We'll see what we can do.
All right, Nick, yet again, on behalf of all of us, congratulations on your win.
Thank you, sir.
Well, before we close out tonight's broadcast, did anybody win a free pizza?
Yes, I'm happy you asked. We've actually got Jill Davis from Cincinnati, Ohio. We don't have her. I've been trying to get in touch with her. I think she's probably gone off and had something else for dinner. I don't know what she's done, but she actually texted in earlier in the race, and she picked the number 10. She liked the paint job on that car. I don't know if she knows Nick or not, but Jill Davis from Cincinnati, Ohio is the winner of tonight's free large 3-topping Domino's Pizza carryout only. Well, we wish her congratulations, and I'll definitely be in touch with her over the weekend because I'm sure she wants to get her pizza. Everybody that wins here does, and that's been a very exciting race, Gabe. Again, I appreciate you being here. Definitely Michael D'Amico with all the camera work. We've had some great replay angles, quite a few cautions. We had some long green flag runs tonight. I think it was a huge success, Gabe.
Yes, it was. It's a great way to start off the new year and start off our relationship with the Xfinity Cup and Truck Series throughout the 2017 season. Unfortunately, won't be there for the Truck Series, but I'll be there for the majority of the Cup Series races throughout the season, along with Robert and Michael. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us here on the All Pro Broadcasting Network. This has been the IWRAPS 250 here for the Domino's TYJ Racing Series, the Xfinity Series, the first race of the series in 2017, and it starts off with a good one. I want to thank you all for joining us. We'll be back here next week at Atlanta. I believe, Robert.
That is correct. Yes, sir, Gabe. We'll be back here actually in 2 weeks at Atlanta.
2 weeks.
Yes, sir. Next Thursday is our is our very first race for 2017 for our brand new top shelf Cup Series. It will be here live at Daytona International Speedway, broadcast live on All Pro Broadcasting, 8:45 p.m. Fans, please be here. You may be the next lucky winner alongside of Jonathan Schwartz, Doug Turner, and Jill Davis, the last 3 winners. We sure hope you're here to win your free large pizza. Again, Gabe, thanks for being here. Michael D'Amico on the camera work. For all of you fans out there, and for us in the broadcast booth, you guys have a safe, happy weekend. And if you're in the southeast in the snow, be careful out there. Y'all have a great night.
Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.